The concept of God has accompanied human thought for millennia, shaping cultures, guiding moral values, and providing support in difficult times. But what if the idea of God is not just about an external being, but also deeply rooted in our own minds? Carl Jung, one of the most famous psychologists of the 20th century, offers an innovative perspective. He suggests that the concept of God is not merely a reflection of an external deity, but also a fundamental part of our psychological structure. In this reflection, we will explore Jung's theories on the psychology of God, uncovering how the divine is closely connected to the human psyche. We will delve into key concepts such as archetypes, the collective unconscious, the integration of opposites, and the psychological significance of religious symbols and rituals. By the end, you will have a deeper understanding of how our idea of God is intimately linked to our inner world, offering new perspectives for a more balanced and meaningful life. Carl Jung introduced the idea that God can be understood as a psychological archetype. But what exactly is an archetype? Simply put, it is a universal image or pattern present in the mind of every human being. These patterns shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and are not based on personal experiences, but rather are common to all humanity. Thinking of God as an archetype means that the idea of God is not merely learned through culture or religion, but is an innate image, deeply rooted in the human psyche. This archetype reflects our search for something greater than ourselves, a desire for wholeness, meaning, and connection. It represents the ultimate unity that each of us unconsciously seeks, a sense of completeness where all parts of ourselves, both good and bad, coexist in harmony. This concept shifts our perspective on God. Instead of seeing God as a distant, external figure, we can understand the divine as an integral part of our inner world. This new way of thinking allows us to relate to God differently, viewing Him not as something outside of us, but as a reflection of our deepest psychological needs and aspirations. To understand how the God archetype functions, we must explore another of Jung's crucial concepts: the collective unconscious. Imagine the collective unconscious as a mental repository shared by everyone, developed over thousands of years, containing primordial information passed down from the earliest generations of humans to the present ones. Unlike the personal unconscious, which holds memories and experiences unique to each individual, the collective unconscious contains universal images and ideas shared by all human beings. Religious symbols are among the clearest examples of these universal images. They emerge from the collective unconscious and hold deep meanings shared across different cultures and religions. Symbols like the cross in Christianity or the yin-yang in Taoism are not merely cultural artifacts, but tap into universal psychological truths. These symbols resonate with us because they connect to the fundamental patterns of our minds. Religious symbols often represent complex and sometimes contradictory ideas, such as the struggle between good and evil, life and death, or light and darkness. By engaging with these symbols, we can start to understand the unconscious parts of ourselves that we usually ignore. This process helps us bring together the different aspects of our psyche, moving us closer to greater completeness and inner harmony. If you'd like to explore the topic of shadow work further, I recommend the best-selling book by Victoria Stevens, Work Journal and Workbook, which has received thousands of reviews worldwide. You can find the information in the description. According to Jung, the self is the central concept representing the totality of our psyche, encompassing both what we are conscious of and what lies in our unconscious mind. The self symbolizes our potential for complete psychological integration, where all parts of our mind harmonize. Jung believed that the image of God is a symbolic representation of the self, an ideal of wholeness that we all strive toward. One of the most powerful examples of this idea is found in the figure of Christ in Christianity. Christ is both divine and human, embodying the union of opposites. This dual nature reflects the process of individuation, the journey through which a person integrates all parts of their psyche, both conscious and unconscious, to achieve wholeness. Christ's role as a mediator between God and humanity symbolizes the bridge between our conscious mind and the unconscious, leading to the realization of the self. Understanding God as a symbol of the self has profound implications for our spiritual life. It suggests that the divine is not something separate from us, but rather a reflection of our deepest nature. The journey toward God thus becomes a journey toward self-realization, an inner quest to unite all parts of ourselves and become whole. The exploration of the shadow, the darker, unconscious side of the psyche, offers a fascinating perspective on the divine.